Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Ooh, well, that was not how the people want to spend their afternoon. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome back to Game Over Edmonton on the Game Over Network. It's your boy, Avry Lewis-McDougall here, back in the host chair for a matinee game. The Dallas Stars knock off the Oilers 4-1 in a game that was, I would say, in a word, frustrating. Frustrating. And that probably quantifies many thoughts of Oil Country in terms of what they wanted to see, what didn't happen, what did happen, as Edmonton splits their road trip, going 1-1 in the road trip, got the big one in Nashville, lost in Dallas, and once again, the common theme early for the Edmonton Oilers, and we'll get into it in a second here, is playing from behind. They played from behind against Philly at home. They are playing from behind against Nashville, and then playing from behind against Dallas. They haven't come out of the gate and had a lead in all these games, in most of these games start the year. Haven't had a lead on the road yet. That's a major concern. I'm sorry, haven't started in the lead yet. So that's a major concern. And with this team right now, with the Oilers, man, oh man, oh man, you're getting contributions from 3 or 4 guys, and at times there's still too many passengers. We have not seen yet a full 60-minute effort from this Oilers team. They're getting quality 42, 43, 44-minute efforts for sure. But we have not seen this team yet put together a solid effort of 60 minutes of hockey. It hasn't happened yet. At various points early in this season, they have been chasing the game. And that is something that is very, very, very concerning. I know it's early. I know you haven't even played 10 games yet. But to see the Oilers chasing this many games this soon, it's like you're thinking to yourself, something has to change. Something absolutely has to change. But before we continue, we got to give a shout out to our title sponsor, our flagship show here on the Game Over Network. Always make sure to tap in to Hyperdrive Hockey. It is our flagship show, and they cover all things hockey across various leagues in multiple countries. Whatever it is and wherever it is, Max, Daphne, and Kevin, they got you covered for all your hockey news with a steady dose of fun and fan engagement. You can find Hyperdrive Hockey on the Game Over Network YouTube channel or wherever you get your favorite podcasts on the Hyperdrive Hockey page, and find it on the GameOverNetwork.com. So I gotta imagine once again they're gonna be talking about the Oilers' struggles on Hyperdrive Hockey coming up this week here. And of course, as always here on Game Over, please, we'll get to your comments, questions, concerns in overtime. I already saw a few comments coming in. I saw longtime fan of Game Over Edmonton, David W's in the chat. I saw David, what's up? How you doing? I saw David's ready with some comments on this game, on what's happened. And there's always, with Game Over, there's always plenty of fans who've been with us since day one, back in the old days on the old station, who were around, who tapped in almost every single show. So we'll get into all of that. But for me, I want to start things off here in the first period on the fact that there was such a lack of production again. In a game in which you want to gain ground in the Western Conference, Stuart Skinner needed some run support. And yes, you would like to have those saves from Stuart Skinner on the Duchesne goal, but the run support with Stuart in front of him wasn't great again. Leon Draisaitl got a goal. Good for Leon. But the top 6 struggled to get anything past Jake Oettinger. Oettinger had a great night. They threw everything at Oettinger. The kitchen sink, the bathtub, your granny's dentures, the bidet, Everything came his way, but they couldn't beat Oettinger on this night. No goals from Hyman, McDavid, Skinner, the top six, and on the forward core outside of Draisaitl was shut down. And on the road, you gotta find some production on the road. That didn't happen. Troubling game, and defensively again, that third period, it felt like midway through that third period, being unable to get past Oettinger, it demoralized them to a bit, and we saw the momentum shift with that Dallas first goal, and then by the time the second goal got past Skinner, it was pretty much game over at 2-1. It was pretty much game over at 2-0 for this game for Dallas and for Edmonton. Got the goal late, but still, it felt like the momentum was gone. The pressure died down, and that's a thing in which the effort level of Edmonton has to be committed for a full 60 consistently, and we just haven't seen that yet. I said on the last show how the 2-9-1 thing, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and yes, Edmonton does come out of the gate flat in a lot of years, start the year. We know that, but this team, there's still too much talent up front for this team to go through that once again. Yes, a slower team, we gotta admit that. This is a slower team, but there's enough talent to avoid a slow start like this once again on the road. So now Edmonton goes back home. They got Carolina coming up. They have Pittsburgh up next. And maybe these games, maybe getting back to the Rogers Place now, will help them out. I know Carolina, Pittsburgh, their starts have been so we'll see what happens there coming up on the in the next homestand here for the Oilers. But just a frustrating game overall when it comes to not being able to beat Oettinger and just the run support. That was tough. And I will give credit, though. I did like, once again, Brett Kulak's game. I didn't mind Ty Emerson's game tonight. I thought those two, the pairing, as a third pairing, once again, looked really good. I think Kulak and Emerson, I think those two should stay together. I didn't mind what I saw out of those two. And we've seen Chris Knobloch trying to figure out a proper place for Ty Emerson as to where he's going to go. We've seen him with Nurse. We've seen him with different partners before. We've even seen Emerson being scratched. But I do like him and Kulak as a pairing on the back end. They feed off each other well. So it's a good look. And then once again, with the start and the struggles, the power play. The power play again is just far too predictable, and teams are figuring it out. Teams are figuring out Edmonton's power play. They're figuring out option A, B, and C. And that's not a good thing. When teams are figuring out the blueprint of what makes Edmonton's power play click, the shots aren't getting through, the chances aren't getting through, their sticks and shooting lanes, it just isn't happening right now. So Chris Knobloch, Glenn Goodson, Mark Stewart, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate how to rebuild the power play. Because when Edmonton takes man advantage, when they're on the man advantage, the past few games here, it may as well be an automatic no goal for Edmonton. It reminds me of a few years ago where Edmonton's power play was horrific. What, in 2018, 2019, 2017, when the power play just couldn't do anything, and on the penalty kill, they were getting hemmed in. Even that has been iffy and very shaky to start the year as well. So, as much as, yes, you do want to see Skinner make those big saves in a game like this against Dallas, you got to support your goaltender. The total team effort just hasn't been here early on. That total team effort is just lacking so far. And I know it's tough. Again, shortened off season, defending Western champs, everybody's going to take their best shot towards you, but the effort level has to be up to par. Look at Florida. In the same way, the Panthers have had also too shortened off season, plenty of turnover as the Cup champs, but the Panthers seem to have embraced the challenge coming back off that shortened off season far better than Edmonton has. Florida has, it appears the Panthers are showing less wear and tear than Edmonton is, and that's not a good sign if you're an Oiler fan coming into a year in which you want to get back to a cup final, you want to win your division for the first time in going on almost 40 years. So there are definitely things to work out before during the next homestand here, and before you get into game 8, 9, 10, 11. There's definitely things this team's going to have to work out and figure out. But there are good signs, though. There are good signs. You are once again seeing someone like a Jeff Skinner going to the net, going hard. That's been his game. Coming into today's game, Jeff Skinner led the Oilers at 5-on-5 shots on goal, which is a big thing, which is great. You knew he was going to generate chances. You knew he was going to be able to stick handle in a phone booth, get in tight in front of the net, and do what he can do best. He's shown that before in Carolina, in Buffalo, so not surprised to see Jeff leading the team and shooting at 5-on-5. Not shocked whatsoever. And before we continue, we do want to have another quick ad break here. The Game Over Network is an independent production focused on community, inclusion, and quality people. If you're interested in supporting the Game Over Network, we have crowdfunding options available. In the description of this episode, you'll find a link to our Patreon page. And we're also working on a page through LaRouche, a crowdfunding platform for companies originating in Quebec. For LaRouche, we're aiming to raise $15,000. And if we hit that goal, we'll gain access to government grants that will allow us to employ more people. If you have any ideas for what you'd like to see as giveaways from these crowdfunding efforts, let us know in the comments on Twitter, Instagram, or in our Discord server. All right. And hey, we won't go too long today because end of the day, it's Saturday. I know you're tapping in to see post-game thoughts, probably vent a little bit, but end of the day, it's the weekend. So I'm not going to keep you all here for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or an hour. I'm going to get my stuff off. I'm going to let you all get your thoughts off, and then we're going to go out. We're going to enjoy our Saturday afternoons, evenings, wherever you are in the world, and focus on Edmonton getting ready for that homestand and taking on Carolina and taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins, because it's all about, after this year, it's about looking forward, not backwards, for the rest of the schedule here. But either way, the power play has got to be worked out. That is a major thing that be worked out. Special teams play has to be worked out. And going into the second period now, with this team, one of the big things Edmonton had struggled stopping was the Dallas speed, the Dallas chances. Even though Dallas, for the first 40 minutes, didn't get a ton. Dallas has guys like Logan Stankoven, Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz. These are guys who are quick, can carry the puck well, and got great chances on Stuart Skinner, especially on the first and second goal of the game. And then Matt Duchene's still there. There's enough weapons that don't look worn down on Dallas that can hurt you in so many ways. And Edmonton just couldn't find a way to stop many of them as the third period went on. That was troubling. As you can see, this team basically said, all right, it's game over, but you can't have that mentality. You can't turn things off when adversity comes, and it looked that way when guys like Hintz, Robertson, Stankoven got things going for Dallas offensively. It's a tough sign in a building in which Edmonton found ways to win quite a bit last season and found ways to win during the Western Conference Final. That's the big thing that was troubling, is that Edmonton, once again, figured out how to win in Dallas. Figured out last postseason how to have a full 60-minute effort against the Stars in their barn, and that was troubling. That was not good. So, and you're going to get, once again, these teams are going to throw their best at you. They're going to throw these young guys. And defensively, if you can't slow that down, if you can't get a handle on that, on a team that you found a way to contain, that you beat in 6 games in the Western Conference Final, I don't know what to tell you. I truly don't. That is not going to be a good sign at all. And let's look at some of the advanced stats here for this game. Let's dig a little bit deeper in terms of what Edmonton did do and what Edmonton could not do. Because there were some good things, but overall, in general, it was just a very, very frustrating situation. And in this game, Edmonton had 11 high danger chances. Dallas had 8 high danger chances. Edmonton, 33 scoring chances. Dallas, 24 scoring chances. And the Corsi, 73 Corsi for Edmonton compared to 52 for Dallas. So the advanced stats weren't horrific. But then again, you don't win only on advanced stats. They help tell you the story in terms of what happened, what could have happened, but as a team, the numbers weren't that bad when it came to the advanced stats. But again, when you can't beat Jake Oettinger, end of the day, it doesn't result in a W, and that's a big problem. That's a major, major problem. So I didn't think today, and of course I might be corrected by some, but I didn't think I thought at times Darnell Nurse looked okay. Third period, you saw the cracks defensively from everybody on the back end, including Darnell, Ekholm, Bouchard. For the first 40 minutes or so, it was a fine game for a lot of D pairings for Edmonton. It was a fine game for Emberson, Kulak, Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse. For the first 40 minutes, it was fine. They were limiting chances. They were limiting high danger chances from Dallas. But the breakdowns in front of Skinner just kept happening once Dallas broke the seal on this game. And that cannot happen. That cannot happen. And once again, here we are talking about Edmonton on the blue line and their struggles at times or in key matters, which it feels like Groundhog Day. It really does at times feel like Groundhog Day, where you see a breakdown happening, everybody knows it's happening, and at times it's not being corrected enough, which I think makes a lot of people shake their heads. It frustrates a lot of people who watch, who analyze this team, because we've seen brilliance from this team defensively. We know the deep pairings can be good and can be consistent, but early this year, you're not seeing it happen on a consistent basis. So it wouldn't shock me if we do see a bit more line juggling again come the homestand. It wouldn't shock me if once again you see more tinkering with the deep pairings and more tinkering with the forward groups once again. It would not shock me at all. I don't think we have not seen consistency from either the forward group or the deep pairings, and that's troubling, plain and simple. It's an overused word right now. I think it's an overused word by more, not just me, other people who watch this team, but it's apt. It works right now for a team that had, in large part, this calendar wasn't the worst for the Oilers to start this season. In large part, this October should have been a pretty soft stretch for Edmonton. This should have been a schedule that they got things started on the right foot. It should have been the first year in which Edmonton looked really good in a long time coming out of the gates. But alas, that didn't happen. Winnipeg, Chicago, Calgary, Philly, Nashville, Dallas. This should have been a stretch in which Edmonton should have more likely been at 4-2 than opposed to 2-4. But we'll see, because right now, so coming up, I mentioned the next 2 games they have. I mentioned it's Carolina, Pittsburgh, and then they're back on the road again for 2 more. They're playing Detroit in Detroit, and then they're playing in Columbus. So stretch of 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, and then another stretch of, and then, my bad. 4-game road trip. It's a 4-game road trip. Detroit, Columbus, back to Nashville, and then to Calgary, and then they're back home again to start November. But the consistency, the defensive prowess has to get better in many ways, both at the forward group and on the back end. They have no choice, because that Western Conference is unforgiving. As volatile as the Western Conference can be, and as volatile as the Pacific can be, because right now, the best team in that division is the Calgary Flames, and full credit to what Ryan Huska has done so far. Full credit to what Ryan Huska has done. He's got Calgary humming right now to start the year, and I don't know if that's going to sustain. I do think Calgary will come down back to earth a little bit, but so far, the Flames look really good in that division. The Flames look like a solid team, and full credit to Huska. Full credit to what they're getting out of their young core. Full credit to guys like Matt Coronado, who I'm a big fan of. I want to definitely see as an everyday NHLer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with the Flames in terms of their results in next few games here. And if you're the Oilers, you definitely want to get a win in Calgary before the Christmas time. You definitely want to return the favor of what the Flames did to you at Rogers Place early in this NHL season. So we'll see. We will definitely see what happens there. But also, game over. Once game over is done, you think the Oiler talk is done? No. You know that's not going to be done. Tomorrow morning, after you recap with game over, make sure you come back here and come back ready for Game on Edmonton, our brand new daily show. Oops, sorry, gang. Oh, when your brand read goes away, that's what happens. When your brand read goes away, there we go. So, like I was saying, after game over tomorrow, make sure you tap in to Game on Edmonton. Game over covers you after the game, but Game on Edmonton, make sure the next day you're ready for all your Edmonton Oilers news, recapping, and getting into everything you need to know. Hosted by Graham Mosimann. Get all your Oilers news in under 10 minutes, Monday through Friday on the Game Over YouTube channel and in podcast form, which you can find on the Game Over Network, thegameovernetwork.com/pages/Edmonton. So after I'm done here tomorrow, on Monday, Graham is going to give you Game on Edmonton. So you can sit back and watch Graham recap the road trip and recap the Dallas game and tee you up for the games against Carolina and against Pittsburgh. But that's going to be fun. Graham is such a wonderful content creator. Graham is a good dude. And I guarantee you, much like everybody else here in the chat and people who are watching Game Over, he's as frustrated as you are. Because, hey, the effort in many ways should have been better tonight. It should have been. But before we head to the third period, before we start to wrap things up and calm things down here on Game Over, make sure you get yourself some Game Over gear. Oh, you want a Game Over hoodie? You want a Game Over mug? You know where to go. We got you covered here on Game Over. Game Over merch is going to be moving. It'll be moving soon like hotcakes. Everything. Hoodies, shirts, toques, and it's gear in every single market that we have on Game Over, all across the country. No matter what team you cheer for, no matter which host you support, hopefully it's all of them, we got you handled here on Game Over. It's a great way to support all of our content here. And all the content has been, all these shirts, all the shirts, the designs, they're all made. They're all designed by our boy, Brady Chalice, the host of Game Over Winnipeg. The creativity is amazing. And hey, the designs are unique. If you want to feel nostalgic, go ahead. Pull off the retro skate design. Want to make a statement with our established design, which is currently on sale? Go and get you some. Are you a goalie? Do you love goaltenders? Then rep or live and die by the goalie design. That is going to get you ready for more hockey action. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You're going to work good. So, where can you find it? Scan the QR code on stream right now and take a look through our apparel store. And with this link, if you buy some content, you buy designs, you buy some of our shirts, you know what you're doing? You're helping us rebuild local sports media in Canada. It's a good thing you're doing that. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Third period. We're getting to the end. We're getting close. We're getting close to the end here on Game Over Edmonton. So please start getting your comments in, your questions in, your complaints in if you want to the Game Over chat room. I'll be here to go through them and, hold your hand in discussing this game tonight as Edmonton falls to Dallas 4-1 on the road to split their first road trip of the 24-25 season. So for me, going into the games against Pittsburgh and Carolina in general, I'm not going to say one player, but in general, I just want to see more run support for the goaltenders, both for Stuart Skinner and for Calvin Pickard. That to me is the major thing I want to see, the major improvement I want to see going into these games here. Because you've got a lot of talented players on this roster. You got a lot of guys who know how to score. We all know that. This is a team loaded with guys who get the puck in the back of the net. But offensively, to start the year, it has been dry. It has been dry. This is a team in which you lose to Winnipeg, they lose to Chicago, lose to Calgary. You do go and you do beat Philly 4-3. You beat Nashville 4-2. But the 4-1 game, the consistency has to be better. The run support has to come from more than just 2 games. And here's a great chance against Carolina, against Pittsburgh, to do just that. We know Tristan Jarry has struggled to start the year. We know Tristan Jarry has had a tough time getting things going to start this campaign. So I want to see more run support helping out Skinner and Calvin Pickard to move things forward for this team before October ends. That's my little rant on that there. That's my little take. With that being said, overtime. Overtime, y'all. Please, let's get into your comments, your questions, your concerns on this franchise to start the season. And thank you all for tapping in again. Without y'all, we are nothing. We thank you all for your support here on Game Over Edmonton. So, let me pull them up here. Let's see what the comments are going here. And David W., we'll go through a few of them. David W. has been active, like always. Like always, let's see what David's got here. He's always got a lot of comments. So David points out, I believe the pressure will only grow for at least some changes to be made to various Oilers lines because they came nowhere close to beating a playoff caliber Stars team. Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. The pressure to change lines is definitely gonna mount more and more. You're going to see people wanting more. I know someone who has had a bit of a tough start has been Victor Arvidsson, new guy. His start's been a little iffy at times, so I do want to see where he's going to go. Again, the deep pairings outside of, again, the stability hasn't been there just quite yet outside of what I've seen with Embersim and Kulak. So I want to see what else they're going to do in terms of top 4. I mean, I'm still a big fan of the Bouchard-Ekholm pairing, but I do wonder if there's a little bit of tinkering for maybe a game or two when it comes to that. So I do want to see what's going to happen there. And David W. again pointing out how the Habs 2021. He points out how they had a slow start. But you know what? I don't think that Edmonton is going to end up being a sub 70-point team. I don't think Edmonton is going to stay that low. If they do, oh boy. But no, I do think there'll be some more tinkering when it comes to what Edmonton does do on his homestand here. There has to be, to an extent. There's got to be, because you can't go as is going forward. And yeah, and thank you, David. Yes, this team did look really good in the faceoff dot. The faceoff dot was one of their bright spots. That was really where they looked very effective. But you don't only win by winning draws. The draw counts don't go on the scoreboard. So while they were strong in their own zone, the possession numbers just were not great. There were definitely things to work on in that aspect. So, anyways, we're out of here. Game Over Edmonton is done for another night, another afternoon, another morning, wherever you are in the world. And you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend half an hour with your boy, talking hockey, watching hockey talk, as we recap the Oilers falling to the Dallas Stars 4-1 in their first matinee game of the regular season. Anyways, we're back again with more Game Over next week. And of course, Graham got you with Game On Monday. So, as always, like, subscribe, comment to the Game Over Edmonton channel and the main Game Over Network platforms. Support all of our shows. Support all of the hosts. You know, we're doing this to help bring back up Canadian-made, independent sports media content. And we appreciate the subscription, the like, the share. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies. Anyways, I'm Avry, and I am out of here. Enjoy your Saturday night. Stay safe and have fun, but not too much fun. Peace.